Good evening, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rock.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selena, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music
In the news tonight, Parliament receives report on online safety bill. Government to address Fiji pine owners' concerns. And both sides give closing submissions in Fiji Times trial.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
The Online Safety Bill 2018, if passed, will promote the responsible use of social media and all new communication tools so that hateful and harmful content, images and messages can be removed. This was highlighted by the Chair of Parliamentary Standing Committee on Justice, Law and Human Rights, Ashnil Sudhakar, who tabled the committee's report on the bill in Parliament. Akosita Tale reports.
After close to 2 months of deliberations with a wide range of people on the online safety bill, the committee tabled its recommendations based on public submissions to the August House for final say.
Amendments were made to various sections and subsections of the bill, and the amendments which were necessary have been made and marked in red in the copies of the bill provided with this report.
Ashnil Sudhakar says the committee considered points raised by submitters and attempted to reflect the impact and benefits of the bill on men and women equally.
The committee also took into consideration the bill's impact on gender and noted, including from submissions received, that the impact of hateful and harmful electronic communication and the posting of intimate visual recording disproportionately impacts women and children as victims.
The Standing Committee has now reported back and the Online Safety Bill 2018, Bill number 7 of 2018, is now ready to be debated, voted upon and be passed at a later time.
The bill aims to promote online safety as there are increased reports of harmful online behavior, including cyberbullying, cyberstalking, internet trolling and exposure to offensive or harmful content, particularly in respect to children. Akosita Tale, FBC News.
The equal distribution of lease money to Fiji pine landowners is currently an issue the government is trying to address. Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum has revealed in Parliament that complaints of unfair practices have been received. Ali Kimbia reports.
After the payout to Fiji pine landowners, some members of the landowning units have raised concerns of not getting a fair share.
Some members of the landowning units actually did come forward and say that when the money does go to the individual landowning units, that it should be equally distributed amongst the members of the landowning unit. And in fact, that's something that's going to be considered in the next payout.
Said Qayyum says the equal distribution policy will continue and the lease money will go directly to landowners.
The landowning units that received about $340,000, in fact, had only 8 adults in that landowning unit. So it's a huge windfall for these people who are getting these monies now paid to them directly.
The massive payout to pine landowners is the culmination of solid management over the past 6 years and the huge input from the current government. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
Forming a coalition post-election to make up government is not the focus for the National Federation Party, says its leader. Professor Biman Prasad says the party's focus is on fighting the election and post-election decisions will be made post-election. When asked by FBC News if after the general election a scenario is created whereby the NFP might hold the balance of power and will be to side with the party to form government, this is what he had to say.
You should go and ask the same question to the leader of the Fiji First Party. If they don't get a majority, who are they going to form a coalition? And you ask a similar question to the leader of the Sodalpa Party before you ask me that question.
In his closing submission in the Fiji Times sedition trial today, Defence Counsel Aman Singh said the prosecution failed to produce any evidence that a letter published in Nailalakai created any feeling of ill will among the Muslim and non-Muslims in the country. The writer of the letter, Chosai Wangambatha, along with Fiji Times Limited publisher Hank Arts, Editor-in-Chief Fred Wesley and Nailalakai editor Anare Ravula, are charged with sedition and aiding and abetting. Pranita Prakash reports.
Josiah Wangambadha's lawyer Aman Singh said that between 20th and 25th of April 2016, Wangambadha dropped a letter to the Fiji Times office in Suva and a second copy to the Attorney General's office. Singh said Wangambadha was expressing his concern on issues affecting the Itoke community, mainly the land. He added the same letter found its way into Nailalakai and was published on April 27th. Singh said 2 months later, Permanent Secretary for Itoke Affairs Naipote Katni Tambua wakes up, reads the letter and feeling it was seditious, reported it to the police. He noted the original recipient of the letter, the Attorney General, expressed no issues with it. Nailalakai editor Andre Ravula's lawyer Devnesh Sharma said the police were lazy and did not conduct a full investigation after the complaint was lodged. Sharma also said that none of the readers of Nailalakai complained about the letter or took it to the Media Industry Development Authority. Fiji Times lawyer Wiley Clark said the prosecution hasn't presented any evidence that Arts and Wesley authorized the publication of the letter. Mark Collett, the lawyer for Arts and Wesley, said his clients were not aware of the letter in question and they should be acquitted. Prosecution lawyer Lee Burney is currently giving his submissions in the Suva High Court. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
It's important that we talk openly about our history and the factual events of the past. This was stressed by Acting Prime Minister Ayaz Said Qayyum at the Girmit Day celebrations in Suva last night. He highlighted the need to not only talk about the indentured history, but the injustices faced by the Ithauke or any other ethnic group. Kelly Vadala reports.
In order for a country to prosper and live comfortably with its history, people from various cultural backgrounds need to openly discuss and learn about our history.
Our richness is in our diversity and our ability to listen to all the stories, all the narratives, all the histories. And that is what makes a country a mature country that is comfortable with its past.
Said Qayyum says government also has plans of having a national celebration on the Girmit history next year.
Next year, of course, will be 140 years since the arrival of the Girmitiers into Fiji. And government has already indicated that we hope to have some national celebrations.
Meanwhile, the celebration was attended by many descendants of the Girmitiers who arrived in Fiji on board the Leonidas in 1879.
Our ancestors did a lot and they were used as laborers, but we should always remember their contribution to this country.
I remember for all the ones that how they were working and how all the remembrance for all people say.
The acting Prime Minister also emphasized the importance of having the ability to mainstream our history and recognizing it. Kelly Bathala, FBC News.
Still to come, FSC optimistic of good season despite cyclone damages. And Fiji Met gets new tech from Russians. Stay with us.
Bula, keron mai singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and do moi viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon ko la do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kana do moi viti.
Kaya kuyazo sila tale, nagurara mai na omanyi, nandonga. Gitu talita gini ang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo, barong na Radio Fiji 1 nandu moi viti.
Na Radio Fiji 1 nandu moi viti na bonga ni BNN.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation remains optimistic about cane production for 2018 despite major flooding caused by two cyclones in the Western Division. Felipe Naikaso has more.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation incurred $20 million damage due to tropical cyclones Josie and Kenny. However, this loss did not affect the corporation in terms of operational matters such as repairing cane access roads and assisting farmers in recovering from the floods.
Bears testimony, I think, to the resilience of Fijians generally and the people in the FSC workforce. They've done a fantastic job. You know, to think that after all they went through, the season's going to be delayed by 2 weeks in Bar and a week here and a week in Lambasa is, again, credit to the staff who've actually prepared so well.
At least 700 farms were severely damaged.
But I think we are still on course to making the progress that we were making before. it will still be a better year than last year.
While the revised figure is below the initial forecast, this is still higher than the actual 2017 production figure of 100,000 tons.
But I'm pleased to say that everything else is kind of back on track. You know, maintenance is going well, mill preparedness is going well.
Mill efficiency.
And the efficiency we expect to be a lot better.
This year's crushing season has also been announced. The Lambasa mill will begin crushing on the 19th of next month, the Lautoka mill on July 3rd, and the Rarawai mill will commence crushing on July 17th. Philippe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Agriculture Ministry is encouraging farmers to treat farming as a business. Minister Iniese Ruratu says in order to achieve this, diversification is vital as it reduces the risk levels for farmers. Ruratu says a major objective for the ministry is to develop a wider range of products to allow farmers to become successful at operating a business. Ruratu says through diversification, a steady source of income will be generated for farmers.
With a wider range of products, it also results into developing more interests and thus the need for more skills. And of course, it will create more employment opportunities as well.
The Fiji Meteorological Services received equipment from the Russian government today that are critical in data collection. The census equipment, worth around $35,000, is timely for the Met services as data collected will be transmitted to the National Forecasting Centre. These equipments will be used at weather stations based in strategic locations.
The weather stations are normally, it's an automated stations, and it senses the temperature, humidity, wind direction, wind speed, and other weather elements that normally comes to the weather office for the preparation of messages for weather and early warnings.
One of the major reasons for flooding in low-lying areas is excessive rainfall, resulting in high levels of water suddenly rushing downstream. Waterways Minister Mahendra Reddy says these runoffs are beyond the capacity which drains and rivers can contain. Catherine Krishna reports.
Extremely heavy rainfall beyond the capacity of catchments and the physical characteristics of catchment slopes all contributes to damaging floods.
The longitudinal profile of most of our catchments indicate that upper catchment slopes that are very steep in nature, followed by a rapid transition to the mature canal and floodplain slopes to the ocean, Madam Speaker.
Reddy says his ministry has worked out ways to address the flooding of low-lying areas.
The entire catchment system, Madam Speaker, we don't have separate maps of the catchment system, Madam Speaker. Hence we do not know the physical characteristics of our catchments, Madam Speaker. We need to map out our catchments and define the characteristics of the catchment system.
Meanwhile, opposition members welcomed Reddy's ideas of developing a map of the catchments.
I'd like to see governments extend the level of support that we need for the Honourable Minister to do what he needs to do.
I actually marvel at the enthusiasm of the Minister to update us on the causes and what and how we're experiencing flooding and what could be done.
Reddy says the planned system will record rainfall in the commonly affected areas, after which the ministry will collect the data and make it available for those in low-lying areas. He says this will help them understand the flooding patterns and allow them to take precautionary measures when needed. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
Local Government Minister Pravin Kumar today informed Parliament that Town and City Council administrators as well as Chief Executive Officers refer to the Ministry for decision-making. He says these decisions can involve from issues affecting ratepayers and their respective workforce. Kumar was responding to questions posed by Opposition MP Prem Singh and Biman Prasad.
Some cases, yes. I've made it very clear. In some cases, they do refer to the ministry. Full stop.
In sports later with Jamie, Fiji 7 skipper Jerry Tuwai blessed to lead the side in the World Rugby 7 series. But up next, we have Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up, FHL Group pre-tax profit reaches 19.9 million. And in growing Fiji, FRA to construct new Irish crossing at Koratari. Stay with us.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टकता हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Leading business tonight, Fijian Holdings Limited has recorded 6.8% growth in profit after tax for the 9 months ending March 31st. The group's pre-tax profit stood at $19.9 million compared to $18.7 million in the same period last year. Chair Adrian Sofield says group companies are continuing with strong performances despite the challenging business environment. Sofield says adverse weather in the third quarter of the financial year negatively impacted their tourism and construction businesses. However, this was cushioned with positive performances from other subsidiaries. The group's major revenue contribution came from Basic Industries Limited due to the high demand of construction material. And we now join Sharon from HFC Bank with the latest from the money market.
Let's have a quick look at market moving news lined up for this week. Australia is expected to release its first quarter wage price index tomorrow. They'll have their April unemployment numbers on Thursday, and expectations are for it to remain at 5.5%. The Reserve Bank of Australia released its monetary policy meeting minutes today with no surprises. New Zealand is expecting to print its global dairy trade index tomorrow. Their first quarter producer price index as well as their annual budget release are due on Thursday. For the US, they will be printing their April retail sales data early tomorrow morning, followed by building and housing starts data on Thursday. And their May jobless claims are lined up for Friday. So we'll wait to see how these releases affect our Fiji dollar in days ahead. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sharon. Taking a look at today's currency exchange rate set this morning for the Fijian dollar. The market continued to fluctuate as our dollar made gains against two of our major trading partners, rising against the Aussie and Kiwi dollars and showing some minor slippage against the other currencies we cover. As for the commodities market, the price of oil went back up to today, selling at $71 a barrel. Gold closed down over $6 to $1,331 per ounce, and silver dropped to $16.52 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the Fiji Roads Authority is establishing a more resilient crossing as an alternative to the Koratari footbridge in Lambasa. The footbridge suffered major damage during TC Josie and is now unstable. Eleanor Thurangoview reports.
Swift currents from the floodwaters last month lifted the base of the anchor on one side of the bridge, causing some damage to the whole structure.
The place where the foundation is, that 1.5 meter is pushed this side, and the wires go down, and all the cables underneath under the bridge, that one is broken.
Following the floods, the footbridge was closed to the public. Proper restraints have since been used to hold the bridge in place. The Fiji Roads Authority has come up with a permanent solution. The Fiji Roads Authority has identified a spot about 200 meters upstream to build the new Irish crossing. The Koratari footbridge has now been deemed unsafe to be used by the public.
So we built 2.5 square box culverts, concrete slab on top, and then the water can flow through. There'll be about 6 cells, 2.5 wide, maybe 8 if we can fit them in. The water will flow through. It will overtop in really bad storms.
So if the Irish crossing will be there, it will be more better. Even if that flood time, this one will be better for the children and the people of the other side to cross. This bridge is also should be maintenance.
The new crossing will take 6 months to construct. The footbridge was built in 2016 for school children to use to cross the river instead of crossing on horseback, boat and on foot. Eleanor Thurangoview, FBC News.
And that's business for tonight. Jamie joins you now with the latest in sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, FRU confirms New Zealand interest in Pacific Islands Super Rugby team. And young lifters target Youth Olympics. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिजरेटर से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टॉक हुआ कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive John O'Connor says he is aware of an interest to form a Pacific Islands Super Rugby franchise team. O'Connor confirming the New Zealand government has funded an $80,000 feasibility study for it. Meanwhile, overseas media reports indicate the team will be made up of players from Fiji, Samoa and Tonga and will play in the Super Rugby competition from 2021. Under the plan, the team will be based in Suva and will also play some home games in Samoa, Tonga, Auckland and Sydney.
Yeah, all we know is that, and we thank the New Zealand government for being involved. They had organized for a consultant to talk to the unions, but that's all we are aware.
After recent tournaments, the Fiji Airways men's sevens team seemed to have found its flow, and now it may only be a matter of maintaining the momentum. However, Captain Jerry Tuwai admits while there is still plenty to improve on, his role as leader of the pack has been made easier with other senior players in the squad. Vasnal Prasad has more.
Being given the captaincy at the start of this season has been a blessing, says skipper Jerry Tuwai.
I don't see any fault to the boys, but we are human beings. Sometimes we make mistake, and that mistake we are trying to improve. And as a team, we are helping each other. And I'm so blessed that I have lots of senior boys here, like Mr. Ice, Chasa, Pet, and Sam, that helps.
For Tuwai, the bond gets stronger each time they go into camp to prepare for a tournament.
As you can see, just laughing and playing with each other. The more we stay together, the more we play together, we lose and we win together. Everything, it brings us together.
Coach Gareth Beba believes his team is tough to stop when they are switched on.
As we've identified, we get the 90% right of what we do in our game, and we're very difficult to stop, and we've proven that. But we need to be at that level every time we play.
The side moved into camp today to prepare for the London and Paris tournament, which will be held next month. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
Opposition MP William Ngavoka asked the Minister for Sports, Laisene Tuitumbo, in Parliament today if he can table a motion on the Vimbi to be performed by national sporting teams at international events.
I spoke about this last month, about graduating table for the Vimbi into something more national, that everyone in Fiji can perform when out on sporting events. In the same way the New Zealanders do the haka, and the All Blacks haka can be performed by any kid in New Zealand.
Team Wellington coach Jose Figueira says they will put in another strong performance against Lautoka in the return leg of the OFC Champions League final this weekend. Young Levuka-based weightlifters Maria Maretta and Sofia Kinikinilau are gunning for a spot to represent Fiji at the Youth Olympic Games in Argentina. Both lifters were part of the first round of national weightlifting trials held at the National Fitness Center over the weekend. If selected, they will first have to compete at the Oceania Championships in Noumea to qualify for the Youth Olympic Games in October. Meli Tavanga reports.
16-year-old Sofia Kinikinilau is no stranger in the Oceania competition as she competed last year in the 58 kg category at the Vanuatu Mini Games.
I want to thank the people who are behind me and helped preparing me in the championship. My coach Joe Weti back in Levuka, my parents.
17-year-old Maria Maretta went far ahead as she competed in the recent Gold Coast Commonwealth Games. Maria is looking forward at competing now at the Oceania Championship in June to qualify for the Argentina Games.
It's a good opportunity for me representing my country and my family. I'm hoping to better my life this time in New Caledonia and win a medal.
Weightlifting Fiji Secretary Ritesh Ratiram says both lifters are determined to qualify.
Yes, Maria was the youngest weightlifter in the squad, and Sophia's she's training in Liverpool. Sophia's training here in Suva.
Both of the young lifters say they wouldn't have made it this far if it were not the support from their families and coaches. The selection of Team Fiji for the Oceania Championship will be held on the 9th of June. Competition starts on June 25th and runs to the 30th. Melitavanga, FBC Sports.
Thousands of Manchester City fans turned up to see their heroes in the team's Premier League victory parade. After a record-breaking season, some have even labelled them the best Premier League team of all time. In today's Play of the Day, the best 5 tries scored by New Zealand teams in round 13 of Super Rugby. That's it from Sports Tonight. Angie joins you later on with weather and in new media. Check out HP's latest range of laptops. That's after the break.
Bula, kera mai singatoka, kera ndo talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo sekolah untuk talita na Radio Fiji 1 kena Domoy Viti.
Kaya ako sila tali, nagurara may naomani, nandunga. Gitu talita gini ang gagawin na sabali, nagundurong varorong na Radio Fiji 1.
In new media tonight, HP announced a boatload of new premium Envy laptops, both in convertible and standard clamshell flavors. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. It was another amazing day with, of course, sun and rain being in competition. More of this weather trend is expected to continue. Taking a look in the west for today, it was a mild day with cloudy periods hovering over. Light showers are indicated for tonight. Eastwards from Pekaba to Suva, much of a rainy day with more in store for later tonight. And up north, a steamy one with loads of rain clouds in circulation. At sea, southeast winds gusting to 25 knots with rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 12:34 a.m. with high tide at 6:47 a.m. Sunrise at 6:25. For tomorrow, we're expecting more showers than the past 2 days, so get prepared with your umbrellas. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be at 29 degrees. And looking further on to Thursday, another day of mixed conditions. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fiji Pulse tonight, we ask, is the price of kava unreasonably high?
I think it's increasingly high, and it's probably because of the recent cyclone and the floodings we just had.
Yes, the price of yangon is getting higher and higher nowadays. I think probably it's because of the high demand.
I think the yangon price is high because of high flood raising in Fiji.
From wedding ceremony, you buy group like 110, 130 kg because poor person there can't buy that group to, yeah.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, in the heart of Magdeburg, Germany, is a superstructure that was built to be an oasis for all mankind. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Parliament receives report on online safety bill, government to address Fiji pine owners' concerns, and both sides give closing submissions in Fiji Times trial. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, this week we're asking, if the 1987 Rambuka coup did not happen, would Fiji be a different place? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day. a commonly seen flower in many compounds and along the roadside, sent in by Mathia Wangaua Jr. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, stay safe. Good night.
Wrong on the radio Fiji 1 and the Moiviti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola untuk tali tak na radio Fiji 1 kena domili.
Kaya ako sila tali. Nagurara may naomani nandunga. Gitu tali tagin ang gitu pinasabali pag nagudurong. Barong na radio Fiji 1 nandung Moiviti.
Na radio Fiji 1 nandung Moiviti na bonga ni BNN.